Round of applause. In Washington, D.C. today, students from all across the country are marching on Washington, D.C. on the coal plant that powers Capitol Hill, and they're also engaging in a lobby day. Now, Congressman Green's constituents are there lobbying him, but for those of us who are not students and who are not in Washington, D.C., we're here because climate is important to everyone. And that's why we have this incredibly diverse group of people here with us today. We have people from all ages, all races, all genders, all socioeconomic backgrounds, all professions, all types of labor organizations. And the diversity of opinion on climate change shows just how broad and deep the agreement is that we have to do something about climate. Isn't that right, everybody? Yeah. Now, Texas, we're the country's power plant and the gas pump. And Houston is the heart of that economy. That's why if Texas were its own country, we would be number 7 in the entire world in greenhouse gas emissions. So how we tackle climate change is incredibly important to Houston. The right kind of program will bring jobs to Houston and make Texas the kind of leader in renewable energy the same way we've been the leader in the fossil fuel energy industry for the last century. The wrong kind of scheme will give away pollution credits and to big industry, who will then play an Enron-type shell game with these carbon credits, and electricity will the cost of electricity will increase without decreasing our carbon emissions. So our critics say that we just want to increase everybody's electricity rates. We know that that's not true. I say stop lying about that. The price of fossil fuel keeps going up. The price of renewable energy keeps going down. So which of these fuels do we want in our future? Do we want the one that's going up? Do we want fossil fuels? No! Do we want renewable energy? Yeah! That's right, the price is going down on renewable energy. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting the same results. We've been doing the same thing with fossil fuels for the last 30 years and expecting different results. But we've seen what we've gotten. We've got more expensive energy, not less. We have dirty air, a warming planet. We say try a different route, one which does not involve importing oil from the Middle East or removing a mountaintop to get coal in the Midwest. We have delivered to Congressman Green our ideas on how to implement a strong carbon management program. We applaud his leadership on energy in the past. A few weeks ago, I showed Congressman Green these pictures of the Houston Ship Channel. Congressman Green loves his district, and when I showed him these pictures, he immediately zoomed in on the areas that were affected by even a small amount of sea level rise. He talked about the neighborhoods. He talked about the people and the families who lived in those areas. He knows that that's what's important. He talked about the industries all up and down the ship channel, both the refineries, the big businesses, and the small businesses that would be affected. We know that climate change affects everybody, and so we asked Congressman Green to fight for our families the same way he has in the past and keep showing leadership on climate. We have told him exactly what he needs to do. We have asked him to cut carbon emissions on a scale of 25 to 40% by 2020 and 80% by 2050. Now, there are those of you who say that that seems like a whole lot. But when we look at it, that's actually a very small amount. This is a graph from McKinsey & Company, the consultant management company, a bunch of flaming liberals, consults the Fortune 500 companies. They did an inventory of United States greenhouse gas emissions, and they looked at 350 different ways that we could reduce those emissions. And this is what they came up with. Everything along here represents cost. Everything up and down, everything up and down this axis represents cost. Everything across this horizontal axis represents reduction in carbon emissions. This entire graph represents an 80% cut in CO2 emissions. And as you can see, nearly half of those come at a net cost savings to everybody who uses them. This includes building codes. This includes energy efficiency. And the great thing about energy efficiency is, as soon as we implement it, from day one, people start saving money. That's money in the pockets of people here in the ship channel. That's money in the pockets of every single resident of Houston. So we say energy efficiency now, renewable energy now, because we know when we go and we invest in energy efficiency, that's putting people to work. That's saying you go out, you insulate a home, you buy some materials from a local store, and you're going to put those up, and that's going to be a good paying job for you. So we asked Congressman Green to call for strong action on climate change, and in his position on the Energy and Commerce Committee, to make sure that this kind of bill really delivers for Houston.
As Andy mentioned, Congressman Green is a member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, where the next climate bill will be written. His support then is critical to the creation of strong global warming legislation. We are here today to show that we are many in number and that the call for bold action on climate change is emanating from a diverse and widespread coalition of important individuals and organizations. Scientists, labor representatives, environmentalists, community leaders, concerned parents and grandparents, farmers, health professionals, religious leaders, professors and students, business owners, and a host of others are gathered here today to urge Congressman Green to heed the recommendations of the scientific experts and to do what's right for his district, his country, and the world. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I'm Sissy Farrentold, a longtime resident of Harris County, as you can tell from the hay fever I have right now. In yesterday's Times, administration person was quoted that their presence would be robust in Copenhagen in December of this year, when the whole world meets its representatives to do something beyond Kyoto. That's the global scene. The national scene is that Congressman Waxman now leads this committee that will be writing this bill. Congressman Green is a member of that committee. And so we move from Washington to the local. And in this, what we hope is an era of possibilities, the only way change will come about is by massive organization of us as citizens. And this in Houston is only the beginning. Thank you.